And we are live. Welcome to Homemaking with Purpose, where we bring to you the best ideas, interviews, and information for today's homemaker. And tonight, we are talking all things Thanksgiving. I am Denise Jordan, your host, and with me tonight is the indubitable Leona Dooley, serving as my co host. So,
Hello, Denise. How are you?
I am doing just great. And everybody in the chat, please give Leona a warm welcome. And then let me get my iPad turned off because what will happen is we'll be getting some kind of a funny ringbacks. All right, so we want to welcome those who have jumped on. And please give Leona a warm welcome. Now, Leona, I'm sure you have already started your to-do list for Thanksgiving.
I have. And it has been quite uh, uh, quite a job. Let's say I'm enjoying it though. Doing it day by day, a little bit by little bit, but everything done in advance.
Okay. I've been thinking about a few things myself, including what I need to do to get the house ready and what I need to pick up at the grocery store for Thanksgiving dinner. But before we get into it, let me just say that our tonight's episode of Homemaking with Purpose is brought to you by Apron Diva, our online apron boutique. Pretty and practical, we believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. And I am happy to announce that we are going to be hosting our first Black Friday sale. So be sure to join us. And I had something to share with you. You guys know this is always a challenge and cumbersome for me as I try to sort this out. But I have it somewhere. There it is. But we're hosting our first early bird Black Friday sale, and it's tomorrow. Well, it starts tonight at midnight. So I am really excited to be able to share that. So hopefully we can find out what all the fuss is about. So visit us at www.aprondiva.com. All right, let's get into it. One of the things that we want to talk about, as we said earlier, is all things Thanksgiving. So if you guys have questions out there, then put 4 question marks in front of them and 4 question marks behind them, and that will alert us to the fact that it's a question, and hopefully I won't miss any. And you guys are going to have to help us stay on track because Mickey Blue Skies is not going to be on with us tonight. So it'll be easy for us to miss a question. So be sure and let us know if we've missed one. And let me just say hello to all the homemakers and everyone in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, welcome. Please jump in and leave your comments or questions in the comment section. We will love hearing from you. All right. So, Leona, what's the first thing that you do to start your holiday preparation?
Oh, goodness. I have to make a list. I have to do a checklist. And though a list really helps you to commit to what you're doing. And plus, it helps you stay on track. So, for me, at my age and all the things that have to be done, I need a list.
Well, and you know what? I need a list too. And I start out my holiday preparation as well with a list. And what I will do is I get my planner out, I get out a notebook, and then I just kind of sit down at the table and I just think about what is it that I need to do, who's coming to the house, especially when I'm thinking about getting the house ready, because the dinner, we do the same dinner every year at my family. So it's like my mom would always say, well, what are we having? And I'm like, Mom, we've had the same thing since I was born. So it's like, you know what we're having. But so I don't stress so much over that. But I do work at trying to get the house ready if company is coming. And so I'll sit down at the table and I'll make a list and I'll think about who's coming. And then if both of my children that live out of state are coming with their families, then I have to think about, well, where are they going to sleep? Where are the girls going to be? Where am I going to put CJ? Where am I going to put the two couples? And that kind of thing. So I think about those kinds of things.
I do too, and we're the main part of our family that's here. My husband's the oldest of six. So his other siblings are in Kentucky. So when all of them come, we may have up to 25 to 30 people in our house.
Staying in your house?
Yes, yes.
Oh, wow.
We all stay in one place. And as much fun as it is, it keeps you quite busy. But the good thing is that we have a variety of different cooks. I set the menu based on what everyone's favorite is, and then we shop.
Okay, so you shop before they get there, though, right?
Yes, most of the time. Most of the time I'm able to do that. But every now and then, because it's someone else coming in sometime to prepare a different dish, then they may have something that they want that maybe I didn't think of. So they may go out, but not me. I have the main basics already here.
Okay. Well, I want you to see this comment that just popped up. And Linda Kearney says she's been so excited all week to hear the guest this week that she just absolutely loves you.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm excited to be here.
And I'm excited to have you as my co-host today, too. So.
Absolutely. Guys, we're already planning some additional things, so you just wait.
All right. So, I got my notes mixed up. Let me see. What did I do, Leona? Okay. So this is the question that I wanted to ask you that I was thinking about because I watched your November video, Building an Emergency Food Supply, and 1 month, one plan. And you do your 1 month, one plan, one shop every month. But this time you're doing two shops. But you talked about making or prepping some things ahead. Can you talk about that?
Yes. And, I think prepping ahead is probably the best thing that I ever learned over time. And what it does is that it enables us to take care of those things like onions and celery that you're going to use a ton of, and you're going to use it pretty much in just about every dish. And when you have company coming, you may not have time to do all the prepping. So because of that, if you have your onions, your celery, your carrots, your green peppers, all those things already in, and I do it in a variety of forms. So I have some sliced, some diced, some finely diced. And what that does, and I just package them separately. So I can just go to the freezer, pull out what I need, and use it in whatever dish it may be necessary to have it in. Also, in that same video, I talked about the one pot meal. Particularly when you have company. And as with our situation as we have today, we aren't as comfortable going into restaurants. And so because of that, I planned for everybody to eat at the house. And so with that, I've also planned what those dishes are going to be. And everybody's here for about 4 days. So I know every day, of course, Thanksgiving Day is going to be the traditional, but the other days I already have meals that are in the freezer that all I have to do is take them out, put them either into a couple of crock pots or into the oven, and they are ready to go. And they're planned in such, I even did the cornbread in advance. And so I can just take it out, wrap it up in some foil, put it into the oven, and we're ready to go. And
okay,
hopefully.
so now when you put these different cut up things up ahead of time, like you're your own sous chef, so do you have like little baggies you put them in? Do you have small containers? Because if you're putting them in baggies, how do you know which size is which? How do you mark those?
Okay. I get my Ziploc bags from Amazon actually, and they have this massive box of like 100 Ziploc bags, whether freezer bags that is both the quart size as well as the gallon size, and it has a place where you can write whatever it is.
Okay.
Now, what I have found is that it's not hard. I just put sliced onions or diced onions or whatever it is. And when I freeze it flat on like a cookie
Okay.
sheet. And then that way, when I put it into the freezer, it stands like a book. So it doesn't take up a lot of space once it's in there. Because to be honest with you,
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of room in the freezer. So I had to really come up with a way to organize it to keep that going. And I do that even with the dishes. I freeze them flat so that they can go right into the pan that they're going to be cooked in.
That's a great idea. I would sometimes, maybe a couple days before or the day before, I would like chop up the onions, the celery, the carrots, that kind of stuff for the dressing, and put it in a bowl and cover it. But you're chopping that up and freezing it several days in advance. That just saves so much time. I like that. And then Tam says she loves how organized you are. She really enjoys your grocery planning and meal prep, and everything for the kitchen. So yes, so I'm glad that we're doing that. And then Debbie Jo agrees that that's really a great idea. And I started doing that the last few years, but just a couple days before. But I like the idea of like a week ahead. You'll just go ahead and chop all that stuff up, and then it's ready. So, and even the cornbread. Now, is this the cornbread for the dressing or the cornbread you're going to be eating?
I do it for both.
Oh.
I do it. I have one bag that is for, I usually do the cornbread for the dressing like in one big slab, so I can kind of break it up. And I take that out early so that if there's any moisture, it has a chance to dry out before I get ready to actually put the dressing together. And I have over a couple of years actually totally prepared the dressing other than cooking and adding the egg, and actually put everything all together, put it into the Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer.
Great.
And then
now, when you put everything together, you're not putting in the onions and the celery and all that, are you?
Oh yeah. Really?
You put everything in there but the egg and the wet ingredients.
Everything but the egg.
Are you people hearing this? Now she makes her dressing maybe a week or so ahead.
A week.
Everything in the freezer. And she puts everything in it except for the egg. So there's no wet ingredients in that. So the celery, the onions, whatever she's putting in it is all in there. It's a genius idea. Now, I've never thought to do that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
It would save so much time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. Debbie Jo says, great idea. Tam says she wishes pre-prep and planned meals. Now that's dedication. She's wondering if anybody else does that. And then Gail Luker says she loves your channel, but whenever she puts celery, it turns brown and softens within a week. Any thoughts, or should she just freeze them right away?
Freeze it immediately. Immediately, as soon as you finish cutting it, put it into the freezer bag and straight into the freezer. I really have not had any problem with it browning.
And you know what? And she's getting the browning because it's probably still fresh.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, it's still fresh. All right. So I don't see, let's see. So Nefertiri says she's never pre-cut her onions and such. And for years, the marathon cooking of the holiday was as important as the meal itself. This is giving her some ideas for thought. Now, here's the thing. The marathon cooking can wear you out, and you can be so worn out that you can't enjoy your guests. And Terry, if I'm not mistaken, you have 5 or 6 children. One of them is about 6 or 7 months old now, or was that someone else that I'm thinking about? But regardless, you've got some little ones that are certainly occupying quite a bit of your time and attention. So, honey, I would get as much done ahead of time as I could. And then some of the important things that you enjoy doing, like you can maybe bake some cookies with the kids or have
Mhm.
some other fun activity with them instead of them running around and making all kinds of noise and getting on your nerves while you're trying to get dinner ready. So I would just kind of think about that a little bit.
Absolutely. The more time that you can spend with the family, it's a special day, so why not spend that time with them?
Hmm. Hmm. So Ronnie says she's cooking Thanksgiving in her house. Oh, she's talking to Nefertiri. Okay. So I don't need that. Let's see. So Hang with Jesus said, um, people make Thanksgiving so complicated. It's not about the food. Well, you know what, though? It is about the food because it's that time when the family sits down and gathers together. And so many of us, we enjoy our camaraderie with our family over food.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, that food doesn't have to be a huge turkey. It could be a chicken. It could be whatever you want to make it, and whatever is indigent to your that's the wrong word, but whatever is indigenous to your culture.
Mm-hmm.
So you could consider
Absolutely.
that because I know every culture that celebrates Thanksgiving doesn't have a big thing with turkey. But
Mhm.
yes, the meal can be much more simplified. And for many families with today's economics, it is. But okay.
Mhm. Well, Denise, also, we have to think about the fact that, too, because of economics, very often now, even though we may gather at one particular place, I know last year it was everybody had a certain dish to bring.
Yes.
And then that way it spread the cost
Mhm.
across the family. But, the main part is being able for, all the giggles that come around,
Yeah.
when you have the food out and everybody's trying to get their plate and they're bumping and next to each other, the noise, the whole to do, that is the love. That's really
Exactly.
what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. And even when the women are all in the kitchen and they're bringing in their dishes, and Mickey Blue Skies is bringing in the sweet potatoes, and my sister
Mhm.
Divine is bringing in the potato salad. My sister Tina is bringing in the fruit salad. It's like everyone's
Mhm.
bringing in the things that they make, and then my daughter-in-law brings in the banana pudding.
Oh,
So
yummy.
those
We
kinds
have a
of things.
banana pudding girl too.
Yeah, so it's like that's all part of it.
Mhm.
And so that's like you said, the giggles and the laughter, and you see the little ones running all around. That's what
Mhm.
I love. And so V says the truth. She is agreeing with us. She said that is the truth. So, but yes, the marathon cooking can wear you out. And I tell you what, my mom did it for years, and I don't know how she did it because now the
Mhm.
older I get, I'm like, oh my goodness, I try to make it just a little bit easier.
Well, I
Oh,
have to. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Gail Luker said she has a small handheld food saver. So,
Oh, that's neat.
yeah, so she can get them all put together and,
Mhm.
have it situated. So I think
Mhm.
Debbie Joe might have one of those too. Also, Hang with Jesus says rabbit might be on his table.
Ooh.
Okay. So Kelsey says in Australia, they don't have Thanksgiving, but for them, Christmas is the big event. And so,
Mhm.
you know what, Kelsey, that's interesting. But like in our family, we would have the same dish for Christmas that we have for Thanksgiving. It's
We do
big
too.
meal. So,
Oh, but what the younger families aren't as glued to the menu as we are. I
yes.
mean, the turkey showed up at Thanksgiving, turkey showed up at Christmas in my house,
Mhm,
and but in my daughter's house, I bring the turkey, but
mhm,
everybody else is bringing heaven only knows what. And
mhm.
it's such a variety once it's time for dinner that you look around and it is totally there's just no real plan. It's whatever anybody wants to bring, that's what they bring. But it's okay because there's still the giggles, there's still the love, and we're still all together around the table.
And you know what? That makes me think of something. I remember there used to be a show on TV called The Young Pioneers. And these young pioneers were young. They were probably like 16, 17, 18. Because, you know, back in the day, people started their families much earlier than we do now. I mean, we
That's true.
did adolescence. But I remember on this particular episode, they were celebrating Thanksgiving. And it was like 3 couples that were having their dinner. And one family brought a basket of apples because that is what they had, and another family cooked something else because that is what they had. So people cooked what they had. They didn't always do the big, you know, the turkey and the dressing and all the things that we do. Okay, let me see what's over here because I don't want to just chat so much that people don't get a chance to ask questions. So Cal says that she pre-cuts up her stuff 3 days before because that's what her mother-in-law did, and she learned from her mother-in-law. Okay. And then Bella said she started freezing celery for the first time in September. So she's thanking you probably for that tip.
Great.
And then Nefertiri says that marathon cooking leaves her attitudinal, always done. And she's going to try to rearrange. She has 6 kids, 4 at home, and the youngest is 5. You know what? It's hustle hard mom that just had the new baby. That's who it is. I'm mixing my ladies up. Okay, so let's see. So now, let's see. I think we had Fly Lady Cat was on here and saying hello. I just lost her. She's saying hello.
Hello.
And then Mary says she doesn't celebrate holidays, but her mom demands she goes home for Thanksgiving just so she can make all the side dishes. She said her mom is 73 and still keeping the family strong. Yeah.
That's right. That's what it's all about.
Okay.
I see Joan
Shooty somewhere.
She's just above where you are now. Above.
Oh, there she is. Okay, there's Joan.
Hey, Joan.
And there's Kim. Cooked salmon for Christmas. We will make salmon for my one son who doesn't like eat ham, and he will eat a little turkey, but he prefers salmon, so we'll make that for him. And then Ronnie says she has some friends who just orders their Thanksgiving meals from restaurants.
Well, okay. I have done that once, but it was only because we had been traveling and I didn't have time to do everything. So I ordered, but you know, it is there for convenience.
So Kat wants to know, what is my Thanksgiving side dish and dessert? Not mine, our. So my favorite Thanksgiving side dish is the stuffing, the dressing, I should say, and cranberry sauce. Like I've got to have turkey with a big pile of dressing, and then you've got to have a big lump of cranberry sauce right there beside it. And I like the whole berry cranberry sauce with a little bit of gravy on the dressing. And then my favorite dessert at Thanksgiving and Christmas is our family favorite fruit salad. It's a family recipe that we only give to new brides, and we only make it at Thanksgiving and Christmas. So what's yours?
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Well, my favorite, of course, is the turkey itself. And I can eat turkey alone, but I need a little side of some cranberry sauce. And I do like the whole berry. But now for dessert, I want an apple cobbler. Oh my goodness. An apple cobbler with a little vanilla ice cream on it. I'm done. Ready to go to bed, go to sleep.
Now that sounds pretty good. Somebody was asking, what is your YouTube channel name? And I forgot to mention
It's Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme with Leona Dooley.
Oh, I got In the Kitchen with Leona. Okay. Ivy and Thyme with Leona Dooley. That's her YouTube channel. Okay, so let's see. So we answered that question. Now, Cal says if she only knew how to make dressing. Cal, I've got a recipe, 2 videos up to show you how to make my famous cornbread dressing. One of them I'm doing chicken and dressing, and then I do another one where I just show you how to do the cornbread dressing. I'll link that in the description box below, but I've got my Thanksgiving 101 playlist linked in the description box. And I've got Leona's Thanksgiving 2020 playlist linked in the description box. So you guys check out both of those and we got you covered. Leona shows you how to make rolls and all kind of stuff. I haven't done that quite yet. Let's see. So Gail wants to know, do either of us give a basic cornbread recipe by the end of the show? And is it true the worst cornbread makes the best dressing? I do have a basic cornbread recipe, and it is in, I'll link that video in the description box. Leona, what about you?
I have mine under Skillet Cornbread. That's the name of the video.
That's mine too.
And, and it is in the Thanksgiving playlist, and I have that listed in my description box, but I'll also put it in the community tab so that you can get to it. But it's Skillet Cornbread.
I'm going,
and it's been quite a while since I had put that up. I'm trying to see if I have it here.
I've got your Thanksgiving playlist pulled up, Leona. And here we've got Thanksgiving prep, the plan. And I think that is so important. And then your Thanksgiving prep, the bread, a no-knead bread. Ooh,
okay, that's 2020. I think it may be in 19. Thanksgiving 19.
I'm looking for your playlist. Well, I'm not finding it right now.
I'll put it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let me stop sharing this and come back over here. But okay. And is it true the worst cornbread makes the best dressing? Well, you know what? Yes, because you want cornbread that is nice and dry. When you're making cornbread dressing, you want to make sure it's nice and dry because moist cornbread makes for heavy dressing. So
yes,
I will make mine the day before or sometimes even 2 days before. But now that I know Leona makes everything before and puts it in the freezer, I think I may try that.
It saves you. It really does.
Now, Tam, I want to thank you. Tam says, do what you have to do. No shame in that, or even order size or particular dish from your favorite restaurant. And Tam, you are absolutely right.
That's right.
Teasing when I was like going like this and all of that, because one thing we do not want to do over here is shame anyone or make anyone feel less than because they don't do something the way we might do it. So I was just teasing you guys in regards to that. And maybe it wasn't a very good thing to tease about, because as I think about that, some people may feel like, well, gosh, I don't do this or that. I got 40 plus years of homemaking under my belt. So trust me, it didn't start out this way.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I won't tell you about my first Thanksgiving came a month and a half after we got married. I'm an only child, had never cooked a meal other than those few weeks of being married. And my entire family of about 20 people showed up for Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness. I called in everybody I knew who could cook.
How did it turn out?
It turned out great. It turned out great. I was so excited. My mom came in. My mother always did. That was our thing. She always did the gravy. And I'm in the process of looking for that cornbread. But mom always did the gravy. And I think that was the hardest part when she was gone, because at first Thanksgiving, when it was time to, at that point, I could cook just about anything. But when it was time for the gravy, I just knew she was supposed to be there for that. So that was a little bit of emotion and probably a few tears in that gravy. But you know what? It got done.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When we were on last week with Anitra, who talked about stress and grief in the holidays, Mary from Mary's Nest said that her dad, I believe, made the gravy, either the gravy or the stuffing. There was something she said her dad always made. And I was thinking it was
Mhm.
gravy, but yes, but yeah, you know what? Do what you got to do though.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So again, there's your channel, Ebony, Ivy, and Time with Leona Dooley.
Hmm.
And then Pam says she likes sweet potato casserole and pumpkin roll. What is a pumpkin roll? Haven't heard of that. But Mickey Blue Sky said she's going to make sweet potato casserole or something this year instead of her regular sweet potato. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Well, it just so happens in the recipes that I'm going to make available, there is a sweet potato casserole in there. So
Oh,
I've got
great.
it all right here, sweet potato casserole, as well as the traditional greens and macaroni and cheese.
All right, ladies. So now look, we're gonna have a battle for the mac and cheese because I am the macaroni and cheese maker. I have the best macaroni and cheese. I love it, love it, love it. My sister-in-law loves it, and she says she's going to give the recipe card to all her daughters. She has 3 daughters, and she
Mhm.
said she makes it every year. But um, since we're talking about this, Leona and I each have a printable that we're going to give you guys. And Leona's printable. Well, tell them about it, Leona.
Well, I am in the process of finishing up a holiday favorites cookbook, and it's going to be an ebook. And I'm not quite finished with it. I still have a couple of things that I need to tweak, but I thought we'd pull out those things that I know you're going to need for Thanksgiving or might like to have for Thanksgiving. So all you have to do is send me an email. I've got some sides and a dessert. Oh man, this dessert is wonderful and that you will want to have. So just shoot me an email and I will send it to you happily so that you will have something else to add to your repertoire of Thanksgiving goodies.
I'm going to try to make a sweet potato pie and videotape it because one of my viewers asked me to do that. My Aunt Leon always makes sweet potato pies, and I have her recipe. And then my daughter-in-law and one of my other sisters or my cousin would make it. I didn't
Mhm.
always make that a lot, but now, I'm going to make one. But I've got Aunt Leon's recipe. So, and
Mhm.
my aunt's name was Leona Douglas.
What is that right?
Yes, her
Oh
name
my
was
goodness,
Leona
how
Douglas.
close.
Yeah, very, very close. But let's see. So now Ronnie said this is the first year she's making a pumpkin pie using fresh pumpkin that she mixed up and she has it herself in the freezer. So I got a little small pie pumpkin that I'm going to try to make a pie with. We'll see if I have time to get that done. When I made that beef pumpkin shiitake mushroom stew, peeling that pumpkin was more than an ocean.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So now, Nefertiri was asking about the fruit salad. Now, this is really interesting, Nefertiri. Number one, it's a traditional family recipe, and we only make it Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we don't give the recipe out. We don't share it. But my youngest son, who took his senior year abroad in London, he went to Manchester University, no, Essex University in Manchester, and all the kids that were there that were from abroad that couldn't go home for Christmas got together and made a carry-in dinner. And he made the fruit salad. He said there were some Asian girls that were from either Vietnam or one of the other countries close to there that brought a fruit salad that was almost exactly like the one he brought. So which is show
Oh,
we are not all as different as we think.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true. Different names, they may have a different twist, but
exactly.
the basic recipes are usually just about the same.
Okay. So okay, so Ronnie's thanking us for the tips on getting the house ready for Thanksgiving with tablecloths and place settings. Yes, I do have
Mhm.
a video up about that. And
Mhm.
then also my printable is more about 21 days to help you get ready for Thanksgiving and what you need to do first, second, and third. Starting out 21 days. And if you don't have 21 days, then even 14 days, just have to condense it so that you can get ready. Let's see. So Linda says they've always made homemade dumplings. Have you ever made and froze this dish
Mm,
ahead of time? I've not.
I have not,
Yeah, I've not
but
frozen dumplings.
But you know what? Because you can freeze pie dough
Mm-hmm.
and you can freeze biscuit dough,
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that. I don't know that I would necessarily freeze the dumplings in the actual chicken mixture if it's in with the chickens, but in the chicken mixture, the what do
The
you call
soup
it?
is all
The
wet.
dumpling mixture, the soup. But perhaps fix the dumplings, freeze them out on a pan, put
Mm-hmm.
them into a bag, and then that way, once you get your mixture hot and you're ready to actually cook it, then you can drop the dumplings in.
And notice she said freeze them out on a pan. So what she means is take a cookie sheet, put them on the
Hmm.
cookie sheet, and freeze them flat first,
Right,
and then you can take them off the cookie sheet and put them in a bag, and they shouldn't stick together.
right.
Um, Fly Lady Cat says she makes ambrosia at Thanksgiving and
Mm.
Christmas. Fresh oranges off the tree,
Oh,
peeled and segmented with lots of juice, pecans, peanut,
yum.
and maraschino cherries cut in quarters, mellow overnight. Ours is similar, but not exactly. But she's
Hmm.
in Florida, so they can pick
Yeah.
oranges off the tree. You ain't picking no oranges around here.
Not here either.
Yeah. So, Hard Hustle Mom, hello. I think it's Candace is her name. This is the one that just had a little one about 6 or 8 months ago. She'll be making greens for Thanksgiving tomorrow and then freezing them. That's a good idea. You were
It
talking about that in
is.
your video. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, I definitely do. When I get my greens, I clean them and I cook them. Do all the cooking to them, then I portion them into gallon-sized bags, freeze them because I do enough greens for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I do them all at one time so that I can save myself.
Okay. Let me just stop for a second. I didn't think we were going to give a an apron note away tonight because Nikki Blue Skies isn't on, but she just sent me you heard that little bing, and she's been sending me little notes. And she sent me a note. She did choose um, a winner for the apron note. And the winner of the apron note is Darcy at Organized by Darcy.
Yay!
Yeah, so let me just go ahead and I had it laying out here, but I didn't think I was going to be able to use it. So this is tonight's apron note, and it says, "You are the COO of your home. Own it."
Oh,
So you're the chief operating officer of your home. So own it. So what does that mean to you, Leona? What do you think that means?
well, to be honest with you, I think as wives, we really do control what goes on within our circle, and we keep our homes moving. That goes from the husband; he is the head of the home, but we have our own ways of being able to keep him on task as well as keep the children on task. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we're really the ones who keep the home built and to add a lot of love into the home. So we're the encourager, we are everything, the inspirer, whatever it may take to
Mm-hmm.
keep our family members going. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, let's see. And so I already said Darcy won that one. So Darcy, send me your email address. I mean, send me your mailing address and send it to me at this email. Don't put it in the chat, but send me your email address and then I'll send that out to you. And then Leona, as co-host, I'll send you one as well.
Well, thank you.
And then let's see, go back. I'm just trying to stay on top of things. We got a couple of questions we need to get to. Oh, Nefertiri says that's a great note for Darcy because she has a beautiful home. Okay.
Yes, she does.
So now Chris says she cooks for 4 days. Yeah, Chris, start
Wow.
seeing what you can do ahead of time. Yeah, so that you're not worn out and can enjoy the holiday.
Hmm.
Let me ask you this, Leona, and I'm going to ask
Uh-huh.
the chat, and then you can answer once I ask the chat. So, people in the chat, what is the number one mistake most new homemakers make when they make their first turkey? When they roast their first turkey, what's the number one biggest mistake they make? Tell me what you're thinking it is. Put it in the chat. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh, I better not sing that song because I just
You
got
see
the.
an answer?
I don't see an answer yet.
Not yet. They must be thinking.
Yeah, what's the number one mistake most new homemakers make when they roast a turkey?
Oh, I see.
Fly Lady Cat got it.
She got it. That's it.
Yeah, they don't remove the giblets.
Hmm.
Yeah, they don't remove the giblets. And there are so many people that have stories about when they made their first turkey and they put it on the table and they cut into it. And then here they got all this frozen giblets and stuff in the center. And my youngest son says that his mother-in-law told that same story about her first turkey. So yeah, when you're roasting a turkey, people, if you've not done one before, once you've thawed out, there is a neck cavity and there's something in there, and then there's a
Hmm.
pelvic cavity, and there is a whole little bag of giblets and
Hmm.
gravy mixture and other stuff that's down in there. So
Matriarchs matter. Um, she has a good response as well. Not thawing it early enough. I've done that
mhm.
early on. Absolutely.
Tracy Goodlow said the same thing too, not thawing it out completely.
Hmm.
And Megan says undercooked, not Megan, Candace says undercooked.
Hmm.
And then Doris says cook it too long. Actually, one of the it's not cooking too long. The number one issue is they don't get the giblets and they don't get those innards out. That's what they don't
Hmm.
think to do. But probably another big one is don't use
This one's funny. I had never heard of that one.
okay, so Lenny, I'm not sure what you mean by that. First of all, I was going to ask Leona if do you wash your turkey, Leona?
Yes.
What do
I
you wash
rinsed
it
it
with?
well.
Okay.
Yes. And in fact, before I put it into its brine, I give it a good scrub. And I know officially now they say you shouldn't do that.
Mhm.
But when I first learned how to prepare a turkey, and my mother, for as long as I can remember, that turkey got washed. Now, not with dish soap, but she would take salt and put salt all over it and rub that salt all over that turkey really, really good, and then
Mhm.
rinse it well. And, but I hadn't heard of the dish soap.
I'd not heard of the dish soap with the turkey. I always just rinsed mine in the sink,
Mm-hmm.
but it is thought to be best practice not to wash or rinse the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
The Health and U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommends that when you get ready to prepare your turkey, thaw it out appropriately. Now let's talk about how you thaw the turkey. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
so to thaw the turkey, you want to thaw it out in the refrigerator. So depending
Mm-hmm.
upon how large a turkey you have, for every 5 pounds, you need to keep it in the refrigerator a day. So if you've got a 15-pound turkey, it needs to be in the refrigerator 3 days. So anywhere from 3 to 5 days, you're going to put that bird in the refrigerator out of the freezer and let it thaw out. Well, why is that? They want you to let it thaw that way because thawing out gradually minimizes the chances of bacteria growing in that turkey so that you don't end up with food poisoning. If
Mm-hmm.
you miss that window, and some people will forget to thaw it out, they forget to put it in the fridge. So then you have to thaw it out quickly. And you can put it in your sink, your kitchen sink with
Mm-hmm.
water, cover it with water, cold water, not hot water, but
Mm-hmm.
cold water. And every 30 minutes, keep replacing that water until it thaws out. So you can do that. Don't put it in hot water though, because that allows the bacteria to grow a lot quicker. That
Absolutely.
kind of thing.
That is a point. And also keep your Clorox tube handy because when you finish, you're going to need to totally sanitize that area because of the bacteria with the turkey.
Exactly. I have a Clorox kitchen cleanup that I use when I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing that. And you guys have seen me use that on videos before. And I didn't think to bring that up tonight to show that. But yeah. Let's see what else. So there's that. Um, how large a turkey should people buy?
Well, When I'm normally serving a large group, I never have less than a 30-pound turkey.
Ooh.
And yeah, we get the biggest they will have. But then as time went by, my son usually does a turkey as well. So we end up with two turkeys because of the size of the group. So average about 15 to 20 pounds for an average family. If you're going to have about 15 people, a 20-pound turkey should do it.
Yeah, and you know what? You're going to have other things to eat. Like we'll have turkey and then
Mm-hmm.
we'll also have a ham. And then
Mm-hmm.
if my one son is here, we'll also have some salmon for him.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes my husband will fry some fish.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you need like more than 20 pounds of turkey, one of the things that my friend Mary at Mary's Nest suggested was to get two
Mm-hmm.
small turkeys. And I thought, oh, what a good idea. Because you can get two
Mm-hmm.
smaller ones in the oven a lot easier
Mm-hmm.
than like, a really huge one. So that
That's true.
and then Shell made a good point, which is
Mm-hmm.
from a food safety standpoint, the water splashes everywhere, which can cause cross contamination. That is why the authorities that know say don't wash your turkey. And not just don't wash your turkey, don't wash your chicken, don't wash your beef.
Absolutely.
Cooking is considered your kill step. So when you
Mm-hmm.
cook it, the germs are considered to be killed in cooking. But I'm old school. I still wash mine. But best practice is don't wash your turkey. So there's that. And then Kat is going, yes, Shell. I know, Kat. I know you should not wash your bird, but I just can't help but rinse it off. I rinse out the inner cavity and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I get that turkey in the oven. I got that Clorox kitchen clean up and I'm cleaning, wiping everything off.
Everything.
My husband's lucky if I don't spray him. Well, Nefertiti says she doesn't know who the great they are, but clean any food product that you can. Just clean your cooking area thoroughly. Well, the they that I'm talking about is the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services or the
Mm-hmm.
U.S. Department of Agriculture. Those are the they. They're the
Mm-hmm.
experts that do the research studies on all of this. So they're the ones that help us to establish best practice from a community health perspective so that we don't end up with food poisoning. So yeah.
That's true.
Okay, so let's see. Ronnie says she sometimes buy two smaller turkeys. Oh, and have double legs and wings.
Ooh.
Good
Oh,
idea.
that's a good idea.
Oh, Veronica said she
Oh.
some Grove Collaborative after watching my unboxing. I hope you will use that link that I put in my description box. But I love it, though. I love it. Oh, okay, so now Bev said she's going to be cooking a pan of turkey wings. You got any tips for her, Leona? She's just going to have small dinner for three.
Oh, well, you know what? The last time I prepared turkey wings, now we will do turkey wings like on a Sunday and a small dinner for three. And I like really treating those turkey wings almost like our little small chicken wings. Where it's so that you can end up with a nice crunchy skin and nice brown and golden,
Mhm.
and the meat is juicy. And wings are delicious. Turkey wings are delicious.
How do you fix yours?
I typically just put my same seasonings with garlic powder. Sometimes I will actually brine them, but most of the time I just, do a general salt, pepper, paprika, little poultry seasoning,
Mhm.
and then I'll wrap them in a pan, and for about the last 25 minutes, that's when I'll uncover them and let the skin crisp because I think that's important.
Okay, so Bev says she prepares hers the same as chicken wings too. Okay.
Hmm.
Jerk chicken wings. So Tam does that. All right. Um, you know what? Yeah,
Oh.
I'm old school too. So like I said, I tend to watch things too. Uh, Kat says turkey thighs are her favorite, but hard to
Mm.
find. I can always find turkey legs, and I think I've seen turkey
Mhm.
thighs at Kroger. Speaking of Kroger, why don't we talk about right now where and let me get my share the screen and share the screen and share the screen. I'm going to share the Chrome tab and weekly ad admire. And admire, you can see they've got turkeys 33 cents a pound right there,
Ooh.
which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's not close to where I live, so I probably
Mm-hmm.
won't drive out there for that. But Kroger also has turkeys on sale, and
And Aldi's does too. This week they're 89 cents. Butterball turkeys are 89 cents a pound.
Butterball.
Mm-hmm.
So turkey
Mm-hmm.
has them 49 cents a pound, but Butterball is 99 cents a pound with your Kroger Plus card. That's
Okay.
pretty good as well. And
Mm-hmm.
then I also found this one, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Best prices for turkeys, and you know, by store in your area. And not all these
Mm-hmm.
stores are not in our area, but
Right.
if you're close to a Food Lion,
Mm-hmm.
a pound with purchase. Um, Kroger already mentioned the 49 cents a pound, but when
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of people have them on sale, and then Aldi's was right there, 87 cents a pound for
Mm-hmm.
Butterball, which is
Mm-hmm.
good. Walmart, 87 cents a pound,
Mm-hmm.
99 cents a pound, and then they kind of go up. And then some places, depending upon your area, has them for free. So I will get a turkey for Thanksgiving, and I will also go ahead and buy one for Christmas at that time.
Me too, because for some and I'm not sure why they do this, but the turkeys at Christmas aren't nearly as reasonable as they are at Thanksgiving.
Well, because of the volume, you don't get the
I'm
same volume.
sure.
A lot of people do a standing rib roast or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
ham and that kind of thing for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tracy said she loves to do Cornish hens for a small family Thanksgiving meal,
Mm-hmm.
and,
I've
and
done
that
that.
works out well too. And then
Mhm.
people, you don't have to have turkey. You can roast a chicken.
Absolutely.
Follow your budget. But right
Absolutely.
now, when turkey's 39 cents a pound, it's cheaper than chicken.
Yes.
Let's see.
Denise, I have a couple of people who have been sending me texts, and they're throwing in their ideas. And they said
What are
one thing that they wanted to mention was the fact that when they were talking about the turkeys and rinsing the turkeys,
they?
that
Mhm.
they like to rinse the turkeys, but they said that they do put a couple of drops of dish soap into the sink when they're washing their greens
I
and
do
then
that.
rinse them well. I do that too, to make sure that those greens are well cleaned before you start to cook them. And I even change my water. I boil it a little bit, then pour it off, and then do it again and pour it
Yeah.
off a couple of
I might
times.
wash those greens 4 times before I'm
Mm-hmm.
completely done, satisfied that they're clean.
Mm-hmm.
And different times it makes different. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, Joanne Schutte has to go. Lana
All
said
right,
they don't
John.
have a Kroger in Louisiana, but you got one of them other ones in there, so I'm pretty sure. Oh, Dana, it's so nice of you. She said 60 people on and only 39 thumbs up. Yes, please smack the like button. I like that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. Okay, so let me ask you another question then. Let's see. Do you brine your turkey? Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about yours first, or you want me to go ahead?
Well, I will brine my turkey, and sometimes I will buy a pre-packaged brine season
Mm-hmm.
kit.
Mm-hmm.
And last year I just bought one at Kroger, and it was really, really good. It did a great job, and I really
Mm-hmm.
liked it. But I typically will make my own. I
Mm-hmm.
would I will get I've got this really huge pan that I use for canning stuff in,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll put in, like a couple gallons of water, well, more than a couple, but water, and then the salt. But I also like to put in some apple cider, onions, and bay leaves, and black peppercorns.
Mm-hmm.
Martha Stewart always talks about putting juniper berries in her brine. I can never find any juniper berries. I'm like, what the
Me
heck is
neither.
juniper berry anyway?
I I don't know.
But I
I
can
don't
never
know.
find them. Even at the health food store, they don't have them. But I'll put up a brine solution, and then I have, you can get a brining bag such as
Hmm.
this at Walmart, Kroger.
Hmm.
I got one linked below in the
I
description
got
box.
two.
And two of them come in the kit. And you
Hmm.
put the bag inside the big container that you're going to use, and then you fill the bag that way. It kind of helps reduce that cross contamination that
Hmm.
Shell was talking about earlier. And then once you get everything in there, you tie the bag up with a little loop on it, and then you set it in the refrigerator. Set it in the refrigerator.
Absolutely.
Set it in the refrigerator. I have seen several videos where the YouTube creator put their turkey in brine and they put it in a cooler with a bunch of ice.
Hmm.
And if that's all you have and what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. But Health and Human Services, Department of Agriculture suggests putting it in the refrigerator because that keeps it at a constant, steady temperature. Whereas if you put it in a cooler with ice, the temperature could drop lower than what they would prefer. And then Dana wants to know, how long do you brine your turkeys? I will brine mine overnight. Like I'll try to brine it anywhere from 8 to 12 hours.
I try to put mine in the brine probably the morning prior to Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
So maybe Wednesday morning, I'll have it in, and
Hmm.
then it stays in the brine. And I cook my turkey overnight, uh,
My mom used to do
Thanksgiving, and I do it overnight. I put it in there on a hot oven and then turn it down before I go to bed. And by the time I get up, we're waking up to the smell of turkey. So, and that works. But I use my apple cider as a
that.
brine. And I like apple cider. I put in cinnamon sticks, of course,
Hmm.
the peppers and whole garlic and all those good seasoning, the onions, all of that. But there's just something about that apple cider that just
Yes.
sweetens that turkey.
It
And
really
it
does.
really does an excellent job.
So we've got a question from Ronnie, and she said
Mhm.
she's never heard of brining a turkey. So now, Dana, we did, hopefully we answered your question. Anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, that you put the turkey into brine. And then Ronnie said she never heard of it. Is that something we should be doing? Well, it all depends. I was looking at a website earlier, and they said don't bother brining your turkey if you get a good quality turkey, like a butterball or something like that, because they've already injected it with some different spices and juices and all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. But if I'm getting it 39 cents a pound, it may not be one of the better quality turkeys.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I don't like a dry turkey. And a lot of people used to not like turkey because turkeys were always dry. Well, if you
Mhm.
brine them and you don't overcook them, they're not dry. So I will brine mine because I like the moisture and the salt solution that, and Leona, you know this being a retired science teacher, but that salt solution that you put in the brine helps to draw moisture into the turkey.
Into. Mhm. It does. It does. It really does. Also, something that we probably, if you don't have and you have an opportunity to pick one up, that's a meat thermometer. And that is so important. I see Denise has hers ready to go.
Well, I
But
like to have show and tell to break up my talking head. So meat thermometer.
but a meat thermometer is something that you really need. That's the only way you'll know, other than Butterball, who's going to have his little pop up. And I have to say, I have cooked a Butterball turkey for over 40 years, and it has never failed me.
Mhm.
And but just in case you have a turkey that doesn't have that, then
Mhm.
you certainly need the thermometer.
And when you're using that thermometer, that turkey is supposed to be 165 degrees internal temperature. So you want to
Mhm.
stick that thermometer down in the turkey not touching a bone, but you stick
Right.
it down in and not touching a bone in the deepest part, like maybe in the thigh or deep in the breast, but not
Hmm.
touching a
A
bone.
meaty part.
Yeah, a
Hmm.
meaty part, and then you want to see it rise to 165 degrees. Now, this one article said you can let it go to 160, take it out of the oven, tint it with aluminum foil, and it'll continue to cook for about another 5 degrees. But I don't do that.
I don't like mine like that. And in fact, I even err on the side of 167,
Yep.
so that, and I'm still going to tint it when it
Mhm.
comes out. But I want to be able, if you don't have a thermometer, this is how you know. You just go to either one of the legs and you start to turn them. If you can turn them easily,
Mhm.
then you know that it's done. But if you have any resistance whatsoever, that turkey's not ready. It's not ready to come out of the oven.
Okay, so we're getting some questions about the brining. And so Myra says we've brought back her love of homemaking. It is undervalued and much needed. And so Nefertiri says, the brine takes place after the turkey has been completely thawed. Yes.
Yes.
After the turkey has been completely thawed,
Mm-hmm.
and you do whatever you're going to do to it. Like if I'm going to rinse it, I'm going to rinse
Mm-hmm.
it first, and then I'm going to put it into, and then I'm going to open up my bag.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to open my bag, put my bag down in my big container. Then I'm going to put the turkey down in, and then I'm going to add my, no, I'm going to add my bag, put the water and my different things that I'm going to put into the container. And then I'm going to gently place the turkey down in the brine solution, and let it rise and cover the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, um, so yes, you do it after you completely thaw it. Cal said she doesn't brine hers, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then Kim says apple cider vinegar or just apple cider.
Apple
Apple cider.
cider.
Yeah, apple cider, not apple cider vinegar, apple
Mm-hmm.
cider. And then Biddy, whose name is Dana, wants to know what
Mm-hmm.
does brining actually do? And it draws moisture into the turkey.
Moisture and flavor.
Oh, yes, and flavor
Mm-hmm.
into the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And Tam said brining makes a difference in moist, yeah, and holds in the seasoning. So, yeah, it does. Ronnie cooks hers in a turkey oven bag. I've done that. And you cook them in an oven bag, they cook so much more quickly.
They do. They
So much
do.
more quickly. You don't have to wait forever. And they're nice and moist too. Because it's like that
Absolutely.
bag does like a self-basting.
Mm-hmm. It browns, it does everything it's supposed to in that bag. Now, let me ask you, how many of you have cooked a turkey inside of a brown paper bag?
Hmm.
This was pre cooking bags. How many of you have put that turkey in in a brown paper bag?
Not
You
me.
haven't?
Not heard of it.
Yes. And before there was a brining bag and a cooking bag, you put the turkey in a brown paper bag, put everything inside of the turkey, and fold it up on the ends, sit it inside of your baking pan, and into the oven it goes. And when you're finished, you'll open that bag up, and it is delicious. It's brown, it's perfect.
Well, what about the paper bag itself though? Because I'm
You
thinking
know, I
wet.
think because of the moisture, it holds up. It really does. It holds up. In fact, depending on your setting, it may be that it might get just a little bit brown itself, but it never catches on fire because your oven's not going to be that high, not
I
high
didn't think
enough.
the oven would that the bag would catch on fire, but I thought it would get real
Mm-mm,
wet and just kind of disintegrate.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Okay. All right. So Kat said she likes the pop-up button. I do too, but I will
Mm-hmm.
still use my thermometer.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy says homemaking's a blessing. And she asked God to renew her passion, and he did. And you know what, Wendy? I agree. You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we just have to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, goodbye, Dana. It is so nice of you that you were here tonight. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Let's see. So Kat says hers are always moist and delicious, but not crispy. She uses an old-fashioned blue speckled covered roaster. That's what I have too, an old-fashioned blue
Hmm.
speckled roaster. It was my husband's mother's, and that's what I have.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Gail was thinking apple cider vinegar, so she's glad we cleared that up. Let's see. Oh, Mary said her mom did that a couple of times.
Hmm.
Okay, Mary. Mary, how are you feeling too? Have you been doing okay? Let's see. So Kat said she's never heard of cooking turkey in a paper bag, but she knows fish can be cooked that way.
Yeah. Now I have to admit, I did it in an electric oven. I have not tried it in a gas oven.
Hmm.
So, you might have to be a little more careful with that. But in an electric stove, it worked.
Well, you're now an OG because Tam says only an OG would have done that. So now you can let your daughter know you got street cred. You're an OG.
An OG.
And then Sue says she did that about 35 years ago. Okay.
Hmm. Absolutely. That was before we had all of these bags.
Hmm. Cal said, would it burn in an electric stove?
No, that's what I had for years, an electric oven.
Now, Miss C says she's heard of it, but she's never tried it.
I typically set my oven on about 325, and that's because I'm going to let it cook all night.
Hmm.
So while it's hot, it's not, at 425 or whatever. A lot of people cook their turkeys because they're trying to cook it within a 3 to 4 hour time period. I wouldn't advise using a bag for that. But if you're going to do a slow cook,
Hmm.
then you could certainly use the bag.
Okay. So Kim wants to know if we've ever cooked a turkey breast or turkey tenderloins only. And yes, I've cooked both of those.
Absolutely.
Turkey breast, I cook it the same
Hmm.
way I do my turkey. I
Yes.
eat it the same way.
Yep. Same way.
Yeah.
Same way.
And what I do is I rub it real well with some herb butter, and I like
Hmm.
to drizzle a little honey over the top after I've done my salt and
Mm.
pepper thing on the inside, and
Hmm.
then on the outside, and then rubbed it with the herb butter. I'll dribble some honey over the top. It really helps it to brown and gives it a nice flavor.
Hmm.
And when I roast my turkey in my old-fashioned roasting pan, I'll put a layer of carrots, onions, celery at the
Hmm.
bottom, and then set the turkey on top of that. And so
Hmm.
that takes place of that wire rack that you get in the roasting pans you get today. And then I'll
Hmm.
put a quart of water in the bottom of the roasting pan. So it
Hmm.
gives you additional broth and juices, and it's just so good. And then you save those juices to make gravy or put them in the freezer, and then you can make dressing at another time without
That's
having to have.
true. That's true. We also sometimes use a bottle of white wine, and so we'll have the vegetables in, have all the seasonings in, put the meat on top, and drizzle an entire bottle of wine in,
On the
and then
turkey.
use over the turkey, and then use the drippings once the turkey is finished and the drippings are at the bottom. Pour that into a saucepan and make the gravy from that.
Oh, I like that idea. I might have to try
Hmm.
that. Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, Sue says brown paper bag almost works like when she uses parchment paper for cooking fish. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And then Deb says she uses her blue turkey roaster they got as a wedding gift over 45 years ago. Ha.
Aww.
Well, like I said, I
Hmm.
got the one I had was my husband's mother, and
Hmm.
we've been married almost 50 years, and I don't know how
Hmm.
long Mrs. Jordan had it before we got it. So,
Yeah, I had my mom's for years, and I don't know what happened to that pan. I don't know if Conway did some kind of project with it in the garage or what, but it
if
disappeared.
he's like my husband, he very well could have. So Sue's used a brown paper bag in an electric oven.
Hmm.
Uh, Kat says those turkey roasters, those old-fashioned ones, reminds her of a baby bathtub.
Yes, it does.
And then Nefertiti said her mom cooked turkeys overnight, got up to baste
Mhm.
it all night long.
Mhm.
She does the same. I don't. I put mine on that morning. I'll cook it for about 3.5 hours, depending upon the
Mhm.
size. I'll baste it a couple times in the beginning, but since I do have that old-fashioned turkey roaster and it has a lid, I can put the lid on it, and that kind of helps to keep the moisture in. And that
Mhm.
extra quart of water in the bottom of the roaster just kind of bathes it um,
Mhm.
in the
Self-base itself.
base. Then
That
I'll take
sounds
the lid
good.
off and do like you suggested, and like crisp it up just a little bit.
Yum.
So Kim says cooking wine.
No, just whatever kind of wine you like to drink, that's the wine you're going to use. And whatever your white wine of choice is.
Okay. And Mary, I'm going to ask my sister who does a prayer circle to pray for your continuous healing and good days. And
Mhm.
all of you ladies and gents who are out there, if you guys kind of send up
Absolutely.
prayers and good vibes for
Mhm.
Mary. So let's see. Wendy said her mom rubbed Crisco all over and basted every half hour, so golden and crispy. I think mine used
Mhm.
to leave
I,
hers in all night, but I put butter with like thyme and all kinds of
We did butter.
all over the top of it. So, wow. So Pam uses
Huh.
white wine in July collards. This is
Oh,
the Cajun cook recipe. I have to try that.
I haven't tried that.
Oh, in your collards, in her collards. In
Okay. Okay.
yeah, so white wine in her collards. I'll have to
Okay.
try that. Well, Nefertiti says, what's the purpose of the roasting rack? So that the turkey doesn't stick to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
It can stick like the back and all of that meat there can stick to the and get scorched on the bottom of the pan if it's in there
Mm-hmm.
too long. So you set it on top of your carrots and celery and onions or the roasting rack, and it
Mm-hmm.
takes care of that. Okay, let's see. Is that all our questions? We talked about basting. We talked about the mistakes. Oh, stuffing. Let's talk about that. That's something we need to address. So, first of all, from my perspective and what I've learned, when you talk about stuffing, stuffing goes in the bird, dressing is on
Mm-hmm.
the side,
Exactly.
helps to dress it up. But stuffing is not exactly recommended anymore by they Nefertiti, and the they is the Department of U.S. The Department of Agriculture and U.S. Health and Human Services, because it is believed that, well, they've done some research on it, that with if you stuff the turkey with like your cornbread stuffing or whatever, and you stuff the cavities, that the temperature doesn't get to 165 degrees in there where that stuffing is, and so it may not heat up enough to cook thoroughly, and you could end up with some germs and bacteria growing in there and end up with food poisoning. Or so they're suggested not to do that. Or if you
Exactly.
stuff it and you cook it longer to make sure it's cooked, well, then the turkey can end up dry. What do you want to add to
Mhm.
that, Leona?
I think you're absolutely right. I used to very early on put the stuffing into the turkey because that was the way my husband's mother did it.
I do that.
And it's funny. The irony of it is that sometimes they would talk about the stuff. Oh, the stuffing was so good, because all the flavors had gone through it. But then they would also, in the next voice, talk about how dry the breast was. And so one goes along with the other because you're cooking it long enough for the stuffing to, cook it completely. And so I just stopped doing it. I
Mhm.
didn't do it. And I don't do it. Now, what my mom would do is that she would cook the stuffing in the turkey, but then she literally would take a spoon, take it all out, put it into a dish,
Mm.
and then put it into the oven just to make sure, because she liked for the stuffing to have a little brownness to the top, a little crunch. So she would take it out and bake it for a few minutes and finish it up. But at this point, I do it all. I prepare dressing, not stuffing.
And you know what? You can stuff the bird with onions, carrots,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
oranges, uh,
Lemons.
lemons,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some herbs and something like that, because those
Mm-hmm.
things will cook quickly. Well, I won't say
Mm-hmm.
quickly, but they will cook enough while they're inside the bird. And then it also gives flavor to the turkey and gives flavor to the broth that you end up
Mm-hmm.
using. What I will do is once I make my dressing, when the turkey is almost done or just
Mm-hmm.
about done, I'll get my husband to lift up that roaster and pour some of those juices off on top of that dressing. And
The
then I'll
dressing.
dressing in
Mm-hmm.
the oven or back in the oven and then let it cook a little bit more. So it's
Mm-hmm.
getting those rich flavors from that.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
Oh, apple pie in a brown paper bag. Never heard of that, but that sounds good.
I saw that somewhere. Somebody did that on YouTube not too long ago, and it looked delicious.
So more prayers for Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Huh. Is that Shar? Do you see Shar down there where she was saying she's made her
Yeah.
turkey broth
What?
already?
Oh, her turkey broth.
Mm-hmm.
Really? She's made her turkey broth in the Instant Pot to prep for dressing and frozen. Tomorrow the
I
frozen.
like how she thinks.
Yep, Star,
Mm-hmm.
you're planning ahead. That's what I want
Absolutely.
that too. I've been working on a bunch of other stuff. I've been working trying to get our inventory and stuff ready for our Black Friday sale tomorrow. So I've
Mm-hmm.
not got this kind of stuff done, but I just cannot wait to get at it. Thanksgiving is actually my favorite holiday because all it's for is to give thanks. It's for the family to come together and be grateful for the blessings that you have. So I just love Thanksgiving and the
I
food
do
ain't
too.
bad either.
I do too.
Okay. So have we covered everything?
I think we've just about accomplished everything. Either the question came through the chat,
Mhm.
or we've covered most of it. Oh, your happy mail.
Oh, yes. Happy Mail. I have Happy Mail. So I got Happy Mail from Debbie Joe, and I was just so surprised. So let's get that off the screen. So Debbie Joe, I went to the post office and I got this nice little box, and I thought, what could this be? And look what was inside. This
Oh,
lovely,
how pretty.
it's an Erin Condren notebook.
Oh, how
And
nice.
so I don't know how Debbie Joe knows this, but there were two in the box, one for me and one for Mickey Blue Skies. Now, Mickey Blue Skies is a notebook fanatic. She loves pretty paper. Like I love pretty plates and dishes. She likes pretty paper and pretty notebooks and pretty bags and things like
Mhm.
that. So she got to pick which one she wanted. And this was the one I wanted. So I was glad she didn't pick
That's
this one.
pretty.
But this is a lovely Erin Condren notebook. And she just
Mhm.
sent it in thanks because she won the handheld food saver. And I'm like, well, I appreciate that. So I wanted to be sure to share that. And then I also got some happy mail from another person who sent me some pictures of her family. And
Oh,
you guys are probably wondering, well, why is she sending you pictures of her family? Well, some of you know that my son works in film and television. And so one of the things that he's always doing is like looking for pictures to use on the set.
oh,
So
how
sometimes he'll
nice.
say, like, do you have pictures from 1950? You got any
Mhm.
pictures from the 40s or something like that? And so then we'll go looking through
Neat.
the family photo albums to see if we've got any pictures.
Mhm. Oh,
And
that's cute.
so one of the questions that a lot of people will ask, like on my videos, is how do you handle memorabilia? What I have all these pictures and what do I do with them,
Mhm.
especially if I've kept all the ones that I want. And so I said, well, you could send them to me. My son uses these kind of things in his work, and the pictures can be used and continue and used respectfully. So,
Mhm.
like in the movie Selma, there's a picture of my mom and me and my sister Lavina on the wall we were little. We were like 5 years old. We'd gone in one of those little photo booths that they take where
Mm-hmm.
3 people get in. There's a picture of us on the wall there. Oh, great news. So you guys have been watching The Wonder Years on
Mm-hmm.
ABC. One of my quilts is going to be in the office of the father on The Wonder Years. I was just sending the paperwork regarding that today. So it's like
Oh.
that. So he accepts pictures that can be used in different films and things, and they're used respectfully. So they live on
Mm-hmm.
respectfully. So she sent them to
That's
me for that.
nice.
So now I got to send her a release form, but still. So that's my happy mail for today.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't mean to. There's
There
something.
was one question.
Is there another question?
It was about canning greens.
Oh, yes. I have never canned greens.
Me neither.
I don't pressure
Hustle.
can.
Mm-hmm.
I water bath can, and you can't water bath can greens because they're low acid.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been afraid to try pressure canning. I'm going to try it next year, but I tried it. I'm going to buy me one of those big Berthas, as Mrs. Hart says, and then I'm going to try it.
Wow. You're brave.
I'm
I'm not trying that.
okay.
Mm-mm.
Well, I think I've covered everything, Leona. Can you think of
Woo-hoo.
any more questions?
I don't see any more.
All right.
We have covered a lot.
Then it's time for the lightning round.
Yay.
And tonight, the lightning round has a twist because I am on the hot seat. And Leona's been planning this all week and giggling, so I don't know what she's got planned.
Well, I've got some questions for you, Denise.
All right.
Now, knowing that you are a lady who handles and rocks that house, these questions are for you. First of all, what is your favorite room in the house?
Oh, the kitchen.
All right, the kitchen. Do you like texting or talking?
Talking. I'm old school. I'm
Okay.
going to pick up the phone and call you.
What's your favorite holiday, Christmas or Halloween?
Christmas.
All right. Which cookie, chocolate chip or oatmeal?
Oatmeal with raisins.
With raisins, no nuts?
And pecans.
Okay. Now, your most influential person that is not related to you.
My fundamentals of nursing teacher, Mrs. James Etta Petway. He was
Oh,
instrumental in just kind of helping me grow and mature and think about some things. I've never forgotten her.
that's sweet. That's sweet. Now, oh, this one you'll like. What is your favorite letter of the alphabet and why?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'd have to say it's either A or E. Um, no, I'm thinking probably Z. Because when you're playing Scrabble, Z is worth some points. A and E are only 1 point, but Z, you can get some points for that.
Okay. And last but not least, what is your favorite cleaning tool?
Oh, my favorite cleaning tool. Gosh, that's hard. I'm trying to think. Is it my, you know what? I think it's my Dyson stick vacuum cleaner
Mm-hmm.
because it just really makes vacuuming so much easier. Either that or the sponge that I use to clean up. Well, not the sponge, but like the dishcloth that I use to clean up in the kitchen. Because, you're always wiping down the counters, the stove, you wash the dishes with it. But probably my Dyson stick vac.
All right. Good job. Good
Oh my
job.
goodness, you had some hard ones. Wow, you had some hard ones there.
Oh, I'm
Wow.
reading.
Oh, well, a lot of people like their Dyson.
I like
Stephanie's
Dyson
here.
too.
Oh, Stephanie's here from, oh, wait, you got some stuff to add too. But Stephanie is here from Creatively Miss Me with Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie.
Look. The frugal Nista is here.
Oh,
Hello. Thank you. Haha.
oh, thank you, Ronnie.
This was fun, Leona. This really was fun. It
This was.
really was fun. You're gonna have to co-host with me again.
All right, I'd be happy to. This was a great time. Thank you to everyone who's been with us through tonight's show. And before we leave, I've got a couple of things to share with you. Don't forget the 17th, next Wednesday. I hope most of you are going to join us. But Stephanie and I are co-hosting a one pot holiday meal. And our plan is to be able to have enough one pot meals that we're all going to share with each other so that we can make our grocery list from that and serve those one pot meals from that time through actually through Black Friday. So we'll have lots and lots of pot meals to enjoy, as well as on the 27th, which is the Saturday after Black Friday, we will have our holiday winter kitchen vignette. And I'm so looking forward to that. I was out today trying to find something new to put in my kitchen vignette. So we're going to have a great time. And I thank Denise for handing that over. And we still talk together about everything, but it's been great. And I love having the
And
conversation with all of you. Mhm.
vlogmas.
Oh, and we're going to be doing Vlogmas starting December 1st. Now, let me add a little note to that. We're going to try our best to do as many days in December as we can
I'm
possibly
going
do.
to try. We'll
We're
see.
going to try to do every day leading up to Christmas. And so we have lots of things that we have planned between December 1st and the 21st. So we're looking forward to seeing you and having you there with us. Denise, I thank you. This has been a great evening.
This was fun. Let me also remind people that the Grieving with Hope conference that Anitra told us about is coming up on November 20th. You want to go to the Facebook page, Grieving with Hope with Anitra and Janelle. And then it's on November 20th, 12 to 1:30. And so when you like the first Facebook page, it'll send you the information for the other. And then I got a super sticker. Meredith, thank you so much for that. This is my
Aww.
first super sticker. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wow, a super sticker. I appreciate that. Thanks for the one pot meal series. Chell says all of this sounds great. Don't forget the grief seminar though for those of you that need it because it can be so helpful. And like I said, thank you so much for the super sticker. And don't forget to go in the description box below and click on, copy and paste Leona's email address so that you can get on her email list and get those recipes that she was sharing with us tonight. And then I've got the link for my printable. You guys, this is the link for it here, and I'll put it in the description box. As soon as we hang up, I'll put it in there. Because Blue Skies was working on it while we were on earlier. But when you click on that, it'll ask for your email address, and then it'll give you access to the printable, which is the 21 days to get in your house prepped for the holidays. And let's see what else. I think that's everything.
I think you covered it all.
Yes. Oh, and be sure and check out our holiday playlist too, our Thanksgiving playlist. They are linked in the
Yes.
description box. Check those out too. So, in the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying, you are not done yet. And Leona Dooley saying, you are not done yet. Click on the link in the description boxes and check out my Thanksgiving 101 playlist. And when you're done doing that, make sure you check out Leona's Thanksgiving playlist. We both got different
Absolutely.
things in there, so be sure and check those out. So, all right. Housewife for 31 years. Who is that? Did we get somebody new tonight?
Hmm.
I'm wondering, did we get someone new tonight? Oh, maybe Meredith Lynn is saying she's been a housewife for 31 years and she's really enjoying our channels.
Aw.
Oh, the inspirational message, Sue. Yes, the inspirational message for the apron note tonight. Oh, I'm glad you wanted to know. It says, you are the COO of your house, so own it. The COO, you are the chief operating officer of your home. Own it.
Mm-hmm.
And the winner of that is Darcy at Organized by Darcy. So I guess I better let you guys go. We've been on a long time. You know, Leona, you and I get to chatting and we just chat, chat, chat.
I know. We just forget time.
Yes, we do. And don't forget our Black Friday sale starts tonight at midnight.
Yep. Order those aprons.
Please. All right, ladies and gents, I will see you guys later. Leona, I'll see you in the green room. But everybody else,
Absolutely.
good night.
All right. Good night, guys.